All the players that didn't show up, what kind of setback would they have on the team? Could we have done a little bit better in trying to assemble the best possible players available for the team for this tournament? So we'll be looking at that. And then we'll have transfers. Oh, Chelsea are shipping everybody into the Gulf. They're shipping all the deadwood into the Gulf. But it's not just Chelsea. Arsenal Football Club. Later, just before we came on air, news emerged that Thomas Partey, who I'm sure you've heard is on his way probably to Saudi Arabia. We've heard he's been offered £100 million a year. £100 million. Or is it dollars? $100 million. 1 year for a 2-year contract to go to Saudi Arabia. But now, why must he take it? He's 30 years old. He still got it. He can play in Europe and dominate. Wait, hold, relax.
Don't be sick.
Hey,
Charlie, don't
let us.
Charlie, you are your intro. You were doing the intro nicely.
Your intro.
You were doing well. You were doing well until this.
Under that post from Sani, where Asamoah Gyan decided to zip his mouth.
Bro,
That amount of money? What are you saying?
You were on track. You were doing very well.
You do your intro.
You were doing very well.
Don't anger us over here. You continue your
Don't
intro.
destroy anything.
Okay.
Just go.
Okay, thank you. So Thomas Partey, according to reports from our senior brother Ibrahim Sani Dara, who of course has very close links to the player, he says he's being offered £100 million a season. Sorry, $100 million a season to play in Saudi Arabia, and 3 clubs are ready to pay that amount of money. And there are people on the timeline saying, Thomas, so this is not me. So now there are people on the timeline saying, Thomas, oh, what's funny? Relax, Muftawu. Your microphone is not on. Relax, let me finish. And there are people on the timeline saying, he's 30 years old. After the season he's had last year with Arsenal, why should he go to Saudi Arabia? He should go somewhere to Spain maybe and ball it and try and win the Champions League, or win the Premier League. Well, it's obvious Thomas is not going to be playing in the Premier League again. But why shouldn't he stay in Europe? £100 million pounds, $100 million a year. I don't know why I keep saying pounds, but that is a lot of money. So look at that. It seems like there are people in the studio, or there's already a consensus on what they should do with that decision. But more importantly on that, Arsenal fans don't care how much Partey is being paid. They are desperate to know how much they are getting as transfer fee. And I've seen the comment. It's crazy. Chelsea have signed another player. So we'll get into all the transfer news. Man United can't seem to sign any player at all. Right, so that's all we have on the show today. It's really packed. And we'll give a very good exposition on why Chelsea are shipping a lot of their players to Saudi Arabia, and what's the connection with the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia and Chelsea. Sitsofe has been on some agenda. So they have destroyed the agenda for him. But we are here. Anyway, so the show is live and interactive on social media. Join us. Use the hashtag GamePlan on Twitter. And, of course, also on WhatsApp, the number is 055-11-11997. That's the WhatsApp number. We're starting, of course, with something really exciting. But before then, just enjoy this bit of I love music. I think we all love music. Do we know? Guys, do you not like music? It's been a while. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's go.
I'm not Pato.
Too much Obidi. Stop. Don't go there.
Ghana's greatest rapper
Of all time.
of all time.
Obidi, I've always liked him. But after 3 days, like 3 days ago, I become a fan.
We
become Obidi fan.
now.
You are not. Wait. You are.
No. What agenda be this one?
No, it's not.
I've always admired Obidi's work.
I understand. Okay.
Bakudia, thank you. I've always been an admirer of Obidi.
Yeah.
He be top guy.
Now.
But 3 days ago, I become Obidi fan.
So
See where I be Ronaldo fan.
Yeah.
But I admire Messi in works.
So in other words, 3 days ago you became a SAC native.
Quick.
Hey. Oh God.
That guy be hard guy.
These people. Yes. Anyway, so we're talking about Sarkodie and all the great stuff that he's done. Wonderful things for him. But Sarkodie's music is why we know him, and for another man, we've known him for his football
And his music.
and then his music. And that guy, where's my song now? And that guy, of course, is our very own Asamoah Gyan. So here we go, Baby Jet. Where is he? Where's the Baby Jet one?
Charlie, hey DJ.
I'm even shocked.
DJ, what are you doing?
The song is there. Put the
Charlie,
song for me.
Let me tell you what.
If you don't play the song, go
Let me tell you what.
sing
We will be
the
singing a
song.
song.
Not
You
let
see,
you.
that times we day village. If we go for the village dance, where the DJ they play the way the thing they make mistake. You say DJ partner another cassette goes there.
What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? DJ partner.
Get that.
This day, Muftawu cannot relate. The time they released the song, he was still in doom.
The liar was like crap.
He was still in doom. Anyway, so within the week, Asamoah Gyan, he announced his retirement. If you missed it, this is what he said. He was at an Africa Exim Bank event, and he was quite emotional. There was also, of course, Didier Drogba there while he made the announcement. And while he was talking, he broke down in tears, and there were, other people there, including Didier Drogba, that were all kind of consoling him. Listen to Gyan.
It's time to tell everybody I've officially retired from football.
Oh.
And very, very emotional, as he said. It's a very, very difficult moment. Something that you love, something that you've
It's our dream.
done since your childhood, and then living it at this moment. And I'm very happy. I'm very happy to use this platform. And it's official right now. All the journalists, everybody.
Wow. Look at the applause that greeted that announcement. 109 appearances for the national team, 51 goals, scored in 9 consecutive tournaments. The African player with the most goals at the FIFA World Cup with 6. He's made 7 appearances at the Africa Cup of Nations, the second most by any player in the competition's history. Only Ahmed Hassan of Egypt and Rigobert Song of Cameroon have made more appearances at the AFCON with their 8. Gyan has been to 7. Asamoah Gyan has played 11 games at the FIFA World Cup for Ghana, the most by a Ghanaian player. Andre Ayew is behind him, having played 10 matches. And of course, Gyan has been to 3 different World Cups, and only Andre Ayew has been to the same number of World Cups as far as Ghana is concerned.
And Suleiman Tari as well.
Suleiman Tari as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
2006, 2010,
2014,
2014.
exactly. Suleiman Tari as well. So lots of history Gyan retires with, and the conversation the whole of this week has centered on where he ranks in terms of Ghana's greatest players, and whether or not Gyan's career was lived up to the fullest of his potential, possibly. Sitso, I don't know. We're asking people to share their greatest memories of Asamoah Gyan. For you, what would it be?
To be very honest, I mean, throughout the whole time that I heard about his retirement, I've been trying to pick that one out, but there isn't one. There isn't one. There are too many. In almost every single tournament that we saw Gyan wear that shirt for the Black Stars, there was at least one moment in every single tournament that Gyan played that you would remember, apart from maybe like the more recent one in 2019, which was the very final one. He was on the bench, general captain, blah blah blah. But every time that Gyan stepped into that, because there are plenty moments with Gyan, believe me. There is that one, the first goal against Egypt in Kumasi. That game at the time, Ghana playing against Egypt, we didn't know how good we could be against Egypt. And Gyan opened the scoring under 3 minutes or so and set the tone for a great game. His goal against USA, his goal against Algeria, in Angola, His first goal against Czech Republic, his control, and the finish. That goal against Germany, his header against Portugal. I mean, there are moments like the
highlights reel.
Yeah, it's impossible. Honestly, I see people try so hard to just say, okay, let me settle for one because that's the question they've been asked. For me, it's impossible for me to settle for one moment because when I go back to remember how I felt during those times, it's practically impossible for me to pick out one. I think he's just been phenomenal anytime he puts on that Black Star shirt. And the reason why I'm so excited singing his song, rapping his song, celebrating him is because
do you have one? If you have to pick out one, Gary?
Well, the malaria goal.
2015.
The malaria goal.
Malaria Jan.
Having
That's a bit of history too, eh? First player to score a winning goal while down with malaria.
malaria.
No,
but you know they lie.
No, but it be true.
No, but you never lied. You
It be
never
true.
lied.
It be true.
I mean, we've seen players with bloody shoulders, bloody head, injury, whatever. You hear somebody get malaria, a 3D.
And the interesting thing actually is that few hours to kick off, he was in the hospital.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's
He warmed up for like 5-10 minutes. He didn't join the full warm up.
I wasn't. I mean, this exercise we are undertaking now, this is one we did for the book as well because he
Exactly.
he had to
Legendary.
choose, and eventually he chose that one,
Malaria goal.
the malaria goal. Yeah,
But that goal is score more.
not for the significance.
Yeah,
what
the
was that he said.
significance of the goal.
It wasn't. I mean, he scored other important equally. If you take the biggest goal he scored, many people, rational people would take World Cup goals.
USA.
You understand? World Cup goals. But in terms of significance, what it means, how it came about, he took the malaria goal.
Because we were heading out.
Yeah, we're heading
we're
out.
out.
We're on our way out to a tournament.
goal.
And without that goal, we are not going into the final.
Yeah.
We're not getting out of the group.
Yes, we're not getting out of the group. And that is where, I mean, for all intents and purposes, the belief in the team returned.
Yeah.
That is when they knew, and while calling other players they said that is when the late Christian Atsu said, when we got in touch with him for the book, that is when they knew that
It was written.
this tournament they are going all the way or something like that. So unfortunately that couldn't. So, but the only thing I would say is that, like this week, we've all been thinking about Gyan, and in many ways, I can't think of a lot of players who have spent 18 years playing the professional game or something like that. But when you think about them, you think about their performances for the national team.
Thank you. Yeah.
Not the club.
Yeah. Thank you.
Gyan scored wild goals everywhere he was.
Yeah.
You posted the underrated goals at Rennes. He scored wild goals at Rennes.
Yeah.
Udinese. Crazy goals.
Ain.
Because you see, his unpredictability at the start of his career, because he was not the fully formed coaches, every single coach, especially from the codes. There's a guy who did an interview on Metro TV. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
They talked about the goals he scored when he was a Colts player. He was even better with his head.
Yeah.
And somehow he lost that because he was fine-tuned by Shapiro and other things. He was the resident penalty taker for Accra Academy from the day he walked in to the squad until
As a teenager.
until he was taken for the academicals. He was a resident penalty taker, and then he lost the heading ability, or his game was morphed in that. He scored wild goals everywhere. But anytime anybody wants to talk about Asamoah Gyan, they talk about the national team. Do you know how hard that is?
Yeah.
Unless you are
Look at the records I just mentioned.
Unless you are Ronaldo.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
Messi. Yeah,
unless you are Ronaldo.
But Messi.
Or Messi.
Or Ronaldo.
Messi is only in the last 5 years.
That he's been given credit for.
Copa
when he was
America.
Argentina.
Copa America 17.
And
that time.
World Cup.
Yes, and
Yeah,
World
from
Cup.
there.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
we are talking about barnstorming, game-making performances.
True,
Messi
true.
is club Barcelona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only in the last 3, 4, 5
Yeah.
years. Gyan from the beginning has been a national team star boy.
And you say from the beginning, from the very day he walked into the Black Stars team as
Yeah.
a teenager,
Yeah.
made his debut against Somalia 2003. It was a preliminary round qualifiers for the FIFA World Cup in 2006. At the time, this was I did a whole documentary on that qualifying
Yeah.
series. Ghana were one of the poorest teams on the continent because at the time we started that qualifying campaign, it was already obvious we were not going to the AFCON in 2004.
Yeah.
That was the lowest of the lowest moments in Ghana's history in terms of our football, missing out at the Africa Cup of Nations 2004.
We were playing the prelims for qualifiers.
And we were
I'm
playing.
not too sure what the structure were, but at the time, but if we were playing prelims, it means we were not good at all.
Yeah,
No,
yes, yes,
that's what
yes,
it is.
yes,
Exactly. We were not.
Coefficients and rankings.
Exactly.
very
We were
poor.
not. We were
So
awful.
just to emphasize,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that
it's not as
was
if
one of
every
the.
country had to play the prelims.
Yes.
It was those that in Sha that would play the prelims.
Yes,
true, we
yes,
were
yes.
born
No, it's
Sapa.
true. It's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. So we were at the level of the Lesothos.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Where
that's
they
what-
are
and
now.
that is why we play Somalia, no?
And that's
Yes.
why we play Somalia,
Yes,
exactly,
right.
in the qualifiers.
Right.
Jan came on as a substitute, scored on his debut.
Monko.
Brother. At that time, he was at Liberty Professionals.
And
And once we got past Somalia, then the group stages draw was done. And Ghana were put in a very difficult group. At the time, it was a group of 5.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there was Congo in there. There was Burkina Faso.
South
There was
Africa.
Cape Verde and South Africa. Really tough group. And for me, we started the qualifiers with a defeat against Burkina Faso away from home. Came back, beat South Africa 3-0. The best performance I've seen of Steven up here in the history of Steven up here. But, the qualifiers, Ghana struggled a little bit. Played Congo here, got a draw, 0-0, and it was really difficult. And the atmosphere and the mood in camp was really awful because you can't beat South Africa at home, and the next game you beat Cape Verde. Then the next time you host a game, it's against a Congo team, and you can't get a win. And you know what the belief was that in African qualifiers, in order to make a mark, you need to win
at
your
home.
home matches.
Away games
Crucial.
impossible,
So it was an all-time low in terms of the mood in camp. Then the return leg. That was a double header. One of those double headers.
Yeah.
Went away to Kinshasa. And this was around 2004. This was a time when even in Kinshasa, DR Congo had a bit of a civil war. Guns were in the hands of civilians. When the team arrived in Kinshasa, they needed the Ghanaian peacekeepers in Congo to come and help their teambers and guard them. That's how Ghana got through, because it was impossible for the Ghanaian team to make it even through to the stadium in peace. There were more people outside of the stadium than there were inside the stadium. So making their way into the stadium alone, it took the team about 3 hours to
That
travel.
should be mentally draining before kickoff.
My brother, to make even like a distance that was about 2 kilometers.
Yeah.
It was gridlock, immobile. So all of this intimidation that we're talking about, then you get in during the warm-up, and I remember I interviewed Steven up here on this. He said when they finished, and this wasn't, you see, and
Because
this was
they saw guns. They saw people holding
yes,
guns.
there were
That's why-
people with guns while they made their way to the
That's the
stadium.
kind of game you're like, listen, we don't have to win this game. Let's just.
That's
win
the
game."
point.
Yes.
Honestly, because you're like, Charlie, if you win this thing,
It's not that
John
deep.
you cannot win your life.
It's
So.
more important than 3 points. You see?
Yes, your life is
All the
no,
players,
and John-
all
Oh,
the
you
players
can
will
win the
call
game, but you win your life.
and John Pencil told me when they got back to the dressing room, when they went out for warm-up, when you are coming in and all that noise, into the stadium, okay, no problem. But the first time they stepped onto the pitch and saw the crowd inside the stadium, Steven said, and this was what happened. Steven said, when he saw one of the players tried to go out first, and he saw that the player was standing at the entrance and wasn't getting onto the pitch. So he stepped out. And he stepped out onto the pitch, looked around the stadium, and immediately ran back into the dressing room.
Beat the players
And then
back.
hey, calm down, boys.
Come on.
Please, I beg you. When you go out, what you are going to see is not anything you have seen before. So be prepared for it.
Yeah.
So he was preparing them
Sack
for
the
the
boys
shock.
for that, yeah.
And it worked because once they did the warm-up, went out for the game, and this is why I rate Jan. And this is a Jan story. And this was a teenager, Asamoah Gyan.
Yeah.
And this was a Black Star, this was a Congo team that had a lot of top quality. The famous Shaban Inonda was there at the time. It wasn't Lua
Yeah.
was in that team.
Yeah.
And the defenders that Ghana had, and that's how come the Dan Coleman story, the famous Shaban Inonda story came from. Cross 15 minutes into the game, cross from the right hand side, like in saying Asamoah Gyan, bam,
1-0.
shocked the stadium,
Baby.
silenced everybody, and
Monko.
that was the calm that they needed.
Yeah.
So pipa. In the end, of course, they equalized.
Yeah.
But a 1-1 draw,
Was
and if
good
you
enough.
ask all the players, they will tell you that was the game
Yeah.
that gave them the confidence. If we can come here in this war zone
And when
and
do
get a
this.
draw,
They can do it everywhere.
there's nothing else we cannot do.
And like Kinsey said, at that point we knew we would qualify for the World Cup.
That's right.
That's what he
That's
said.
right.
Have you guys noticed something about Gyan?
Mr. Nathaniel Atto, welcome
yeah.
to the show.
Thank you very much, Charlie. The usage of both feet.
yeah.
And you see, some of the most difficult goals he's had to score with his unfamiliar left foot. You know, yesterday we just put a question out, on television, and we're just asking a question about which goal is everybody's favorite. And I had a lady, which is normally, you'd normally have guys talk about your response to these questions. Talk about the game against the US and that goal against the US at the FIFA World Cup 2010. Look, I always want to go back to that because of the degree of difficulty.
Yeah.
The degree of difficulty, it was so unlikely. And you see, the stage, at the end of the day, the stage and the level of rivalry we had grown with the US, it was just a perfect day to score such a goal. And I always keep saying that we didn't have to wait till this last Africa Cup of Nations experience to appreciate where Gyan stood within our football ecosystem, or where Gyan stood when it comes to the forward story of our football over the years. It is said that the likes of Dan Owusu had big records, and unfortunately we do not have the statistics to back it, because in the time it was more of the love of the game. People were just playing the game, scoring, and it was just going away into thin air. Now if you have to go back and get some material on these goals that have been scored, you don't get them anywhere. So I believe that his legacy in terms of country and club is something that we need to celebrate. Now, I think that over the years, what has happened is that he's done personal effort. Now, the book that was launched recently, gladly, Gary was very key in the execution of that particular, event and the writing of the book itself. That was a personal initiative. Now, I think as a collective and as a people, we need to do something to say thank you to Gyan. And that one is not up for discussion. Here at Joy Sports, in our own way, we've done something to say thank you, legend. But as a nation, we need to do it. And you see, it's not just about football, Fent. It's not just about football. It has to start growing a certain culture amongst us.
And Nat has been consistent on this
Yes,
for years.
Yes.
About how we don't do enough.
When you go EPL, when you go watch the EPL, who are the people who park at the VVIP? It is the players. Because they are the people who hustle on the pitch at the end of the day.
And they have statues everywhere.
Exactly. You go to the
premium, them.
You go to the premium boxes and their names are there. They are the people. So you see, that is how the whole element of appreciation starts. So we have to start growing the culture of appreciation in our society, because you see, when you do that, it's not just for the moment, it is for the generations behind us, the generations that we're going to leave all of this for. That a young boy is sitting there aspiring to become a Asamoah Gyan. Number 2, he wants to score 50 or 60 goals. Number 3, he knows that when he's done, he will sit down, 6 shoes, cross his legs, and get celebrated greatly by the nation. There's nothing as rewarding as that. So as a nation, we need to celebrate Gyan. We need to do something significant to celebrate Gyan for what he's done for us.
I agree. Thank you, Nat.
And Fent, okay. What Gary was speaking, spoke about Gyan's heading ability when he was young and those who saw him at a very young age. I think when you watch Gyan and the way he developed with the Black Stars, when Gyan burst onto the scene, at the time, we played 2 top, 2 strikers. One of the best attributes of Gyan was he's not the tallest, but he has such a very good leap that Gyan will flick the ball on and find another player. And another thing about him as well is I think he has, we say Coutinho Junction, Kaka has a Junction. I think Gyan also has a Junction.
He does,
When you take him to his right, the bottom corner, the goal against Noya, the goal against Angola, the goal against Algeria.
The Kelly, no. The free kick, no way he scored against the for the
US there.
the US there.
He get that junction. If
And,
John meets
and
you
when
there,
they can't do it, he get in right hand, he gets
he
away.
gets away. If John meets you for that junction,
You don't be alone to look at
If John meets you for that junction, he go eat you.
Let's not forget, even ahead, AFCON 2010 against Nigeria, when Kojo Asamoah took that corner,
Yes.
just see how he was able to flick that ball.
Yes,
into
yes,
the
yes,
net.
yes.
John's area ability was.
I agree. Let me read this, and then I bring in Daniel and Muftawu. It says, a true warrior who served his nation with so much pride and passion. You are and remain a great example to many in this sport. It was an absolute honor to have played 12 years with you in the national team. This beautiful game will miss you on the pitch. I wish you all the best in your retirement. You are a legend.
Fence, 10 seconds before.
Only one person.
Who is that? I beg.
No, it's Andre.
Capito.
You even let me finish.
Adika, make I tell you guys something. Yeah. You know the time he day Accra, then he like do cycle play. Wait someday Shapiro be the coach. Jay Sapon, he's been in the.
And listen now, it's just a message.
So Shapiro was the coach. You know, Accra was playing some very hot, serious game. Asamoah Gyan does this thing, scores a goal. The whole place is gone up in celebration. And then after the goal, everything settles. And then he gets very comfortable. He's dribbling.
Yeah.
And then Coach Sapon goes to stand on the touchline in his elements and says, "Change that." Boy, you know what the switch catch means, right? Change that. You be John, I was having a chat with Baby Jet the other day. He was like, "Charlie, that day, nothing pain now past that." Charlie, but you
and it was very normal. Anytime we were playing a game and Ghana was very comfortable, you see the skill of Gyan.
Yeah.
He'll give you that skill, give you some back heel, everything.
I think which we saw against Philip Lam. That's
It dragged the ball through the legs.
But on a more serious note, though, I feel like I think when it comes to showing Keche when Ghana is leading, there's one person who does it more than
Nigeria. The way as they substitute this the way they come the packed up, the way he even jumps it.
That was something, Keche.
Daniel, let me come to you. You are a true baby jetter. That I can tell. You've always adored Asamoah Gyan. Now he's hanging up his boots. Obviously, it's not one of those situations where we're waiting for him to retire before you show appreciation. From the very beginning, you've always been an Asamoah Gyan stan. Your thoughts on the beautiful 18-year career that he's had?
Charlie Fent. You see, I think all of you guys here entered the business before me.
Yeah.
So I was Baby Jet's prime. I was a fan.
Yeah.
Just the raw fan. And you see, Charlie, there are some things when it comes to football. There's some joy somebody can give you, some teams, some players can give you.
Yeah.
That no. How do I even put
not be normal.
Like, no matter where you pass, nobody can take it away. Like, it's just
Not even
etched
the
in your
player
memory, in
himself.
your heart.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's the player can't even outdo himself. Once he does, it is over. My favorite moment, and I'll explain why, was his goal against Czech Republic. So we've gone through this qualifying period where personally I didn't think we were going to qualify, because in the beginning it didn't look like we were going to qualify. Then we qualify. And remember, that was a time where we're slowly starting to get belief back into the Black Stars. We had missed the 2004 competition. 2002 was bad. 2006 AFCON was poor, and we're going into the World Cup. So it was sort of mixed feelings. You didn't know if you were going to get the team that went through the qualification period or the team that went to the AFCON. We were not really sure. Then we go to the World Cup. Opening, I remember when I saw the lineup, then I get comfy. Against Italy. In my heart, like, quarter, we go for draw. Like, let's do something, cry, and then draw this game. Oh! When they score with 2. So I remember that game, it was an evening game.
Did you cry?
I was laughing. Oh, I didn't cry. But you see, I was lying in my bed and I just told myself that, Charlie, we've made the World Cup. It's fine. You just go through, because in order of difficulty, Czech Republic was the most difficult team in that group. They were the second, exactly. They were the second ranked team. So in my head, oh, we've lost to Italy. Czech Republic will probably beat us. Then USA, we can force and beat them. And here I will get some 3 points. If we go home cry, it doesn't really matter. Then Ghana versus Czech Republic. It was a weekend. I think it was a Saturday.
Yeah.
Early morning. Around late morning to afternoon. I remember that day because I ate breakfast quite late. Then I put on the TV. Boga, I did shake. I watched that game alone. My whole family was in, and I went to a separate room because I'm very superstitious. You understand? So look, Charlie, when I saw Yankola, I saw Rosiski, I saw Nedved. I said, hey, Boga, today we go collect.
Barros.
Charlie,
Milan Barros.
So Barros didn't play.
Boga, like in my heart, today we'll collect. Like it doesn't matter, but here we are in the World Cup.
My favorite was the one who got the red card, Ufalusia. Just like
Charlie.
the name.
You see, the match had barely begun.
Yeah.
If you saw first of all, that pass from Apia,
The control and the 10.
Boga,
Player.
10 because
control and the
if
10.
he had mistimed the thing, counter attack, they are going to score. When he turned the guy.
Which guy?
Oh.
You say he turned the guy. It was Nedved.
Oh, the Nedved.
Yeah.
Oh, he give him, he so away, he give him. When he turned, when he stagger him body, he hit that long ball into the box. And see, this is where superstars strike. You see, this moment,
This is where stars
see,
are made.
forget everybody.
Yeah.
No player in this world, in the history of football, would have executed it as well as Jan.
Allah, baby, eh?
Chichi. Baby get, see, Chichi.
Off the chest.
He pow like this. Oh.
Kudame.
Then the left foot. Pa.
We can
But that boy, they call it placement. Too. It's not power. Oh. It's placement. Do you know who was in the pool?
Peter Cech.
Peter Cech. Oh.
In his prime.
in his prime.
By that time, Premier League, me, I did they watch every game. No, I know Chelsea won't lose. Oh. I just want them to score against Czech because it's an achievement for me. I'm telling you the truth. I know Chelsea will lose. Nobody can beat Chelsea. Nobody could beat Mourinho Chelsea. But if you score against Czech,
It's a big deal.
it's a big deal. I remember some James Beattie goal with that Southampton scored.
Yeah.
I was happy. I knew they would lose. But I was happy because when I go to school, I can go and tell the Chelsea fans, they score you some. Like the crisis is over. It was Peter Cech in the pool.
Yeah.
And see, the significance of that goal for me, it made me believe that it was possible for Ghana to actually make an impact at the World Cup. Because we've lost the first game. We are supposed to be beaten by Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Then we've taken the lead. Super goal. It's like, we're actually leading a World Cup game.
Yeah.
It is possible. And if we win this game, USA, good job.
My brother, and Czech Republic had blown the USA apart in the first game, eh?
No, Czech were good. Oh.
Look,
No, that
Czech
Czech
were,
was good.
look, they were very, very
They were
good.
very good.
Rosicky
That's
scored.
a goal, that's a goal, that's a goal, that's a goal. That's a goal.
No, Czech were very, very good. No jokes.
Oh, you see, and this is the thing about Jan. This me. If you look at the sportsmen, the people I like, there's something about beast mentality that attracts me. Cristiano Ronaldo, Novak Djokovic. I'll fall in love with you.
Jan
right
had
now.
a certain belief.
Look, baby Jet.
Yeah.
This is what the credit I give him for. It's not the goals. The ability to show up in every big moment.
I agree.
That thing, don't take it for
I
granted.
agree.
Why? Ask yourself, why is it that between 2006 till 2017, think of all the biggest Black Stars moments. 90% of them is Jan.
Jan is a
Like
He himself or around him.
or around him.
98%.
Like Jan will always be involved.
Yeah.
And that's my thing. You talk about the 2010 World Cup. That goal against Serbia. Yeah, it was a penalty. But Charlie,
It was a big moment.
You needed nerves. We had
we
gone
thought we were
85
going to
minutes.
beat them. Charlie, 85 minutes. We are not getting anything. Then penalty. Then Jan scores. You go to Australia, a very poor game. Jan scores.
Jan had missed the
USA.
penalty.
He had missed, USA.
People forget though.
The 2006 World Cup.
People had Jan had missed the penalty. Yes.
USA. Jan scores. Even 2014, the stinkiest World Cup we've ever played.
Still, more.
He
That
scored 2 goals.
Charlie, where this thing did?
Wait,
He scored a second goal. See, me. Forget everybody.
Daniel
But
is
you see,
dancing. Daniel is dancing.
Daniel said something that I think we underrate.
Big game player.
We need to start asking ourselves why since Jan retired or left, he just retired.
Yeah.
But since Jan
Got off the scene.
of the scene or
The-
became
the
less
Black Star,
active
yeah.
from the Black Star, we struggle for goals. And when I look, so I've gone back to look at a lot of the goals Jan scored for the Black Stars.
Yeah.
We weren't feeding Jano. He was actually feeding on scraps.
Yep.
It's true.
And the goals that
the
Jan,
USA goal like
and the
this,
goals
it
that
was-
Jan scored. That's why a lot of our strikers these days, they'll get similar scenarios, but they can't execute it, and won't blame them because those were not chances.
They're not chances.
The goal against Algeria that all of us are
It's
hyped
not a
about,
chance.
Yeah.
it wasn't a chance.
It was
a
a
chance.
wild kick from Mubarak
Mubarak
Wakasa.
It wasn't a chance. The
Diagonal
goal
was-
against
It was
USA,
a very
that all of
deliberate
us-
assist, please.
Okay, all right.
the
Cool.
goal against USA that all of us are hey about.
Andre
that
Ayew.
wasn't a
The day
chance.
are you
volley.
very deliberate assist.
That wasn't a chance. So Jan had always, you could trust Jan to be your one top striker.
Exactly.
Because of the scraps, Jan could make something out of it. He was a good ball player, he was a good holder player, he could link up well. And so that is why we've always not been creative. Ghana has not always been creative. We've not always been creating chances for all our strikers.
You know the difference?
Just to add to what you're saying.
We had a goat.
yeah.
yeah.
Baby Jet is the
He's
greatest
a
of all
goat.
time.
He's a
Let me,
goat,
let, me,
seriously.
let me just add this to what you guys are saying about the greatness of Jan. You talk about ever since he left the scene. I want to talk about even when he was in the scene.
Yeah.
Look at how many other strike
Strikers
partners
fell
he
off.
had.
Yeah. And most of them came and fell off.
My brother.
In fact,
He
he met
came
Matthew
to meet
Amoah.
Matthew Amoah. Matthew
yeah.
Amoah was the expert when he came to qualify.
Yeah.
Yep.
When on the biggest occasions and the tournaments, Matthew
fell
Amoah
off.
in his entire career has one tournament goal.
Yeah.
Against Senegal. 2006 AFCON.
2006.
Yeah. There was Prince of Goals came, you know.
Prince of Goals came, Majid Waris came.
Waris
So
came, yeah.
he's had partners
And then
after partners after
Jordan
partners.
has
Agogo.
been there.
Agogo,
Jordan Ayew.
Peter
Go,
Agogo.
and yet it is Jan at the end of
Yeah.
the tunnel that's always standing out, shining, and delivering for this country. So for me,
But
I
actually,
feel,
I actually look at Jan beyond what he did on the pitch. And as you recall, when he was going to China, I wrote an article and said he's a testimony of a survivor.
Yeah, he is.
They've been thousands of stories about Jan, and anyone would have crumbled under that pressure.
Charlie.
Yeah, yeah.
But Jan always found a way to rise above those occasions. His resilience,
Mentality monster.
is quite incredible. AFCON 2008. What did we not do to this gentleman? What did supporters not do? To the extent that he wanted to even get out of camp. But Jan recovered. And by AFCON 2010, he was our star man who was doing every single thing. Took us to the final of AFCON 2010 against Egypt. Scored 3 goals in that tournament. Was it 2 goals? Against Angola and then against Nigeria. Andrea, you scored the other one against Burkina Faso.
Yeah, yeah.
Then we went to the World Cup. He was the
scored against
man
Cote
again
d'Ivoire.
that we looked up to. Despite all the numerous stories that were always out there about Jan.
But you see, Muftawu, let me just throw something to you as well. We always talk about the 2008 one because it's the public one.
yeah.
Post 2010, after missing, can you
penalty
imagine?
against-
Can you imagine the mentality he needed to have to come back after the World Cup?
Exactly.
No, after the World Cup to come and play qualifiers again.
He came.
Yeah, no, I know.
played the
After the
qualifiers,
after the
we went to
penalty,
AFCON 2012.
after the penalty,
After the penalty.
to come and play the
first
penalty.
penalty of the Gary, start from there before you come after the
Yes,
World Cup.
yes. So that one there we know.
Muftawu, just wrap up for me.
I'm the boogie, no.
His
So his
mentality,
mental strength.
his mental strength. I would always say this: if you're a young footballer and you want to get to the top, look at Jan and ask yourself, how did he do it? How was he always able to recover when the going got tough?
Because he had a lot of setbacks.
Yes,
He had many setbacks. Many.
I would like to have the final word when you are done, and make
He
a
had
public
many
appeal to
setbacks.
Asamoah Gyan.
On the pitch, an animal.
Exactly.
2006.
Yeah.
In fact, when we went to AFCON 2006, I would always say that if we had Jan, we probably would have done better.
Or Essien, or Muntari.
We probably would have done
We
better.
didn't have anyone.
We had Baba.
No, but I
Amadu.
see,
And then the
I agree what you
Edu
say,
said-
because in 2010, we didn't have a lot of the people. We had Jan.
We had Jan. 2010, we didn't have lots of them. We had Jan.
All right, Gary, what do you
And-
want to
and
say?
The final thing I'd like to say is, I mean, especially in the wake of, Yvonne Nelson putting her book out and the sort of things, a lot of people said, oh, yeah, like, Jan's book didn't,
Give us the controversy.
so let me just say it publicly. there were lots of considerations that were made. Top of them being the health of the Black Stars. That's why a lot of the things that you expected to be talked about were never talked about. Because it was a World Cup year.
You do to the Black Stars what if that to sack?
Yes. Look, it was a World Cup year. Book came out on the 30th of April.
Right.
We had just qualified for the World Cup.
And that's a picture.
You understand?
Yeah.
So we took things out with 2 weeks to go.
Bro, we beg.
To publication.
Version 2.0 should come.
So my public appeal to Team Baby Jets, I don't have the rights to publish and all that.
Yeah.
To Team Baby Jets, the things that we took out is in my email.
Let's bring them back.
We need a part 2 of that book because where the Ghana football is right now, we didn't hear the research now. We need the part 2.
All right, Gary, I agree. Thank you. You know, the last thing I just want to say, right, but it's just like a funny story. You were talking about the 2006 game against the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
You know, he said, we won. Jam missed a penalty, got a yellow card. Jam, so why you
do some wrong
For diving. Even against
not
Italy.
for diving. That one, the yellow card was taking the penalty before the whistle.
before the whistle.
And then against Italy, he dived. And he was yellow carded.
No, Brazil.
Muftawu.
It wasn't even a dive. It wasn't even a dive.
It was Brazil.
It was a penalty. It was supposed to be a
round of
penalty.
16 game. It was Brazil.
That was impulsive.
After the game, after the final whistle against Czech Republic, Stevie Appiah said he went to, Stevie, I like Stevie. Stevie said he went to Pavel Nedved and asked him, he said, Nedved, the ball we played, was it Adidas or Nike? he said, I'm confused. Did you see the ball? He said, they didn't see the ball.
We played it wrong.
Your messages are welcome. 055-1111-1997. Also on Twitter. Tweet at me at Fentua_. Also use the hashtag game plan. We'll be back. We're taking a very, very short break.
CCR.
Yes.
Charlie, we
just a
spoke in
break.
Bao.
Yeah. When we come back, we'll do under 23 and then take you to transfers because there's quite a lot to talk about here on the show. Stick with us.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Welcome. Take a couple of messages before we switch up the conversation a little bit. This one says, Asamoah Gyan is a striker of a kind. I saw the days of Tony Yeboah for the country in Germany. Gyan is my man. His ability to make the magic by his skill and pace doth my heart off for him. Frank, OK at Japan in Manfi Ekiapim sent us that message. Walanyo in Adenta says, after scoring his goals, the way he celebrates by dancing is my favorite thing about him. Okay. This one says, this is Godwin in North Canada. She says, as for my favorite Asamoah Gyan goal, is a penalty miss. If Ghana had an Afriya Barnier in that team, Ghana would have easily gone into the semi-finals of that World Cup in South Africa. For the players Ibrahim Tanko is missing, I'm surprised we got here and we had Ghana sports journalists who didn't know the Olympic Games qualification was not a FIFA recognized competition and clubs can easily stop their players from playing. I'm a die-hard Arsenal fan, but I want Partey to go for that cash in Saudi Arabia. Fast. Godwin has managed to have his opinion on every single topic we introduced on the show. This one says, my favorite Gyan moment was his headed goal against Woto at AFCON 2010 in Angola, where he famously danced with Ajimambedu. Stanley in Achimota talking about Nigeria, of course, that semi-final goal. Fento and team, great discussion on Gyan. The reason we couldn't beat Congo home and away was because their head coach was Claude Leroy, whose teams are very difficult to beat. I agree, very difficult to beat. And before our home game, especially against Congo, Mariano Barreto had run away. Hey, honestly, he had run away. He didn't tell the GFA he was leaving. He just got to pack his bags and left. Yeah, so Samade had to come step in and take charge of that game. Don Mickey Jr., Nigerian Gano, says, guys, do you know the bashing Gyan got for missing a penalty against Uruguay was as a result of the fact that he was at the time seen as football god by Ghanaians? And don't forget the goal against Algeria under Avram Grant. All right. This one says, guys, Gyan symbolized bravery, courage, and determination. Do you guys remember what Jerry Rollins said about Gyan on his return from the 2010 World Cup? Rollins was awed by Gyan's decision to take that first penalty in the shootout. Legend, you say. That's Kofi Ntema. This one says, Fent, don't forget the goal he scored against the Three Lions in the friendly. Brilliant. Yeah, that was brilliant. That was really brilliant. Thank
At
you.
the stadium said that day,
Yeah.
it gave Ghanaians a sense of, like belonging.
Which we did here.
Yeah,
Right.
like we did hear some.
The Ghana bucket for UK, they go rush wrong.
Baby gentlemen.
That's Philip in Kokrobite with that message. So do send in your messages 055 1111 of course. But before we switch up the conversation, I want to tell you about the EcoBank Joint Use Habitat Fair. Owning a home is an accomplishment when it comes to choosing a home, of course, or our preference of living. We are faced with a dilemma. Will you go for affordability or comfort or luxury? Well, we'll help you choose your preferred home at the 14th edition of the EcoBank Joint Use Habitat Fair, powered by the Plant City Extension Project from Cities and Habitats. For further inquiries, please call 054 011 0389, and that's coming soon. Also, the Ghana Football Awards is here. We'll be talking to the guys very, very shortly. Of course, it's on the 25th of June, and night that promises to be nothing short of extraordinary. So do stay with us. We'll be having a very quick chat with the guys from the Ghana Football Awards towards the end of the show, of course. But also, it's flash sales at City Ceramica. Get up to 25% discount off on all doors, jacuzzis, and sanitary wares between now and Saturday, 24th June 2023. That's just tomorrow. So locate them on the Spintex Road, 200 meters from the Flower Pot Runabout and opposite Furniture City. You can contact them on 0202 525855 or 0509 847123. City Ceramica. Find it, love it, buy it. City Ceramica, your home of quality sanitary wares. Charlie, who's your guy? Huh? I mean, your only G for life. Who's got your back? Guess what? The rains are here again, And your reliable partner for quality plastic products in Ghana, West Africa, and Central Africa, Duraplast Ghana Limited says, let's leave no chance to water storage. Get Water Tank. Yes, Water Tank, the only water storage tank with water level indicator to let you know the accurate water you have available. At Duraplast Limited, precision is a virtue we trust most, hence our consistency in providing you with the quality PVC and HDPE pipes for accurate and excellent plumbing or electrical works, including drainage pipes for free flow of water without implosive blockages. When we say it's 5,000 liters, it's 5,000 liters. Call Duraplast today on 0242 818-874 0242-818-874 for your water tank and other plastic pipe products. And you can locate them at plots number 10, 11, and 12, Dadiban Road, North Industrial Area, Accra North, or locate a distributor close to you for your authentic Duraplast products. Water tank, what a tank! Remember, where Duraplast goes, water flows. And KFC, yes, everyone is rushing to enjoy the famous KFC beatbox at a cool 35 Ghana cedis. You get chips, chicken, and chocolate or vanilla crushers to wash it down. Simply send hi to WhatsApp number 0551 711 711 and follow the prompts. You may also call 0308 25 1000 to place an order, or you can visit the KFC stores near you. At KFC, we have a meal for every pocket. KFC, it's finger-licking good. Ever since I introduced Muftawu to KFC, the boy wants to spend all his salary there. But no problem. We move. Enjoyable OP House Party is live every first and last Saturday of the month at Shay's Lounge Experience, located on the Oxford Street, Osu, opposite the Osu Mall, featuring DJ Black live. The house is going to be packed and it's free, of course. And last but not least, Gliss Africa presents the 7th annual She Summit Mentorship Program, Accra edition. The transformative event aims to connect aspiring women professionals with accomplished mentors to foster personal and career growth through guidance, support, and networking opportunities. The summit is expected to provide a dynamic platform for aspiring women professionals to connect with established leaders and industry experts. The event aims to equip women with the tools, resources, and confidence needed to navigate their career paths, break through barriers, and achieve their full potential. The theme for the summit, Advancing Women for Leadership Roles and Overcoming Gender Barriers, will be led by the Member of Parliament for Kwakwe South, Honorable Asamoah Gyan, who will serve as keynote speaker, with Dr. Vanessa Aseye Mensah Kabu as event host. Participating speakers include Amafrem Poma, Managing Director, SRC Life Savings and Loans, Valerie Obazi, CEO of R&R Luxury, Elinam Hogli, Deputy Managing Director, Hogli Transport and Company Limited, Dr. Louisa Setakla, Medical Practitioner and Stoneboy's wife, Sika Ose Douglas, actress, TV host and content producer, Beryl Ajekum Ayaba, CEO, Echo House Ghana Limited, and Dr. Hannah Lisa Tete, medical doctor. The event is slated to take place on the 24th of June 2023 at the Accra Digital Center at 9 a.m. prompt. Official partners include Access Bank Ghana PLC, UNFPA, Accra Digital Center, and the Spanish Embassy. Official media partner is Joy FM. For more information and to register, call 0557 107 779. 0557 107 779 or send an email to shesummit@gletsafrica.com. Early registration is encouraged as spaces are limited. All right, your messages are welcome. 055 1111997. This is Game Plan on Joy 99.7 FM. Let's switch up the conversation. And I want to start with Muftawu, who has a bit of breaking news. Muftawu, what's going on?
Well, it started as a rumor, but but it's gradually become an official thing. George Free will announce his candidacy to contest for the GFA president on Sunday.
Worst kept secret
The
in
worst
the world.
kept secret.
The worst breaking news I've ever heard.
And one of the things we've heard is that he says he's empowering progress. He's a beacon of leadership and transformation.
That's what he says.
That's what he says. So
What do you say?
what do I say?
Yes.
I don't have anything to say. It is why he said that I'm going to
It's a
win.
democracy. Anybody can
He
contest.
said, yeah. So it's finally going to be official on Sunday.
Wait, he's having a launch on Sunday? Or what's going to be
Announcement.
official on Sunday? I don't.
Announcement. He's going to announce that he'll contest for the position of president.
My brother, the last announcement, they called it the...
Okay, so
Hold on. The last time George Free announced that he was going to contest for the GFE presidency, he announced it at this hotel at East Legon.
yes,
Called what?
that was April 2018.
Angie Hill.
No.
No, it was
no,
not
no,
Angie
no.
Hill.
On the Lagos Avenue.
E.T. Mensah's Hotel.
Yes. What is it
Oh,
called?
That's what he did.
MG Grand.
It's not where he did this.
No, it's not MG
Fundraising.
Grant.
Uh,
It's not MG. The MG Grant was where he went to solicit
It's
for
not
support
MG Grant.
for.
E.T. Mensah's Hotel.
Oh, I forgot
Yes.
So
the
the
name.
fundraising
It's
was at Angie Hill.
it's quite a
no,
famous.
no, it
it's quite a
wasn't-
famous
That's
hotel.
not that one.
Easy.
It's quite a famous hotel. We've all
Was it
forgotten.
somebody's 50th birthday? Or
Yes.
yes,
That was someone's 50th birthday.
Something grand.
He announced. We've all forgotten.
Easy.
We've all forgotten.
I remember
no.
I was on.
But it was April 2018.
Hold on. You see on Lagos Avenue when you are going before you reach Mensvik.
Mensvik Hotel.
Mensvik
They
Grand.
called it the Mensvik Declaration.
Yes.
Yes.
At the time.
So someone just sent it.
Mensvik.
Mensvik.
Mensvik Hotel. He at the birthday party
Yeah.
invited all his
So
friends.
Yeah.
this one.
I was not invited.
But where is his friend?
Yes.
Where is his friend?
Buddy. Oh, then that day confirmed.
I even call him
Simple.
Uncle George.
No, that. Oh,
No.
that's
Uncle
what
George.
your
Uncle George. We all call him Uncle
He didn't
George.
invite me.
You see, do you know what pained me? On his birthday, I called him to wish him a happy birthday. Only to find out in the evening that he had gathered friends. To go and enjoy. He didn't invite me.
Clearly, you are not his friend.
You're not his
Anyway,
friend.
so Muftawu. So
Yeah, so it's not. It's
entered
just.
the race.
Yeah, he's
The
entered
first
the race.
person to declare
No. Koyoyanka was the first to declare.
Okay.
his intention, eh?
Yes.
Okay.
But George even is not official yet. It will be official on Sunday.
Sunday,
That's
yeah,
what-
but,
and he's recorded it. He will release it and then. Yeah.
All right, no problem. The under-23 kick off their campaign against Congo on Sunday. They have to do without some key players that they named in the squad. Kojo Poku plays in the MLS. Runs for the Iboa. He plays in the second division in Germany. Kamaldin Sulemana plays in the Premier League. All three of them will not be at the competition because they've either opted not to go or their clubs haven't given them permission to go. And then the other player that's been named, Ernest Nuamah, who was expected to have joined up with the team when they arrived in Morocco, hasn't joined up with the team yet, as at the last information that I got. He was in Sinyane.
He's expected to be there today.
He's expected to be there today. Daniel, I don't want to take this around the table because we have other things to talk about. But I want to give this one to you. We have an Olympic qualifier. It's critical. We must qualify. We named some more, if experienced players, if you like, in coach in the squad to aid with the qualification. But somehow that seems like it has backfired in a bit. In that only one of them it's going to be at this competition. And even him, he played in the qualifier. So the help we needed from those who didn't play in the qualifiers, it's not even coming.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll still go.
Yeah.
We'll still probably do well. I have one main thing to say. You see, I've seen some commentary around blaming the FA for players opting out, clubs not allowing them. The fact of the matter is that this competition is not recognized on the FIFA calendar. So the clubs have the bargaining power, not the FAs. So what it means is that you might have your dream 11 for the thing. If the club says no, it's no. There's nothing you can do. You can't report them to FIFA. You can't do anything about it. So I understand why the FA named the provisional team. And I tweeted it and I repeat it. There's nothing wrong with the FA naming a provisional list with all these guys and still trying to engage the clubs and hopefully for them to change their minds on it. If it reaches the point where the clubs insist that it's a no, then we just go with the squad. The squad that is available, and that's just what it is. I don't think this thing is something that doesn't happen anywhere, or this is the first time we are seeing something like that. You don't expect the FA to go in March, and if a club says no, then the FA will say, okay, fine. Then they go in, especially if the coach is very keen on the player. If the player is someone the coach sits down and thinks that this guy can help us, you expect the FA to continue to try and engage and try and change the club's mind on the issue. And if the club at the end of the day says no, then clearly that's why you name a provisional list with a bigger number than expected, so that if things like this happen, you can always fall on the players who are left on the list. So for me, I understand that it's quite unfortunate that some of these players will not be able to make it, like Wahala. It's painful because that from him is the MLS, and you know that the MLS calendar is very different from what we have.
Deep in it now.
Deep in it, so you can understand why they want to maintain their player for this stretch of the season. So that is understandable. But the pictures we saw of Ernest Nuamah and Sunyane,
they don't speak very well of him, do they?
These are some of the things that it's funny because
it's avoidable.
It's avoidable. There's a competition. Some of your mates are on holiday. You are not, unless you don't see the magnitude, or you don't understand the magnitude of this competition, the importance of this competition too. We've not been in the Olympics since forever. 2004. So this is a big deal. The thing is, there's a group of players who are already there camping. You might be a key part of the team. You might be a senior member of the team. When you get there, you walk straight into the team. That is fine because we saw his importance during the qualifiers and we understand that. But you should be, the optics should portray you as somebody who is serious about business. You get me? Once you are straight from the Black Stars, you are heading there to camp.
That was actually the understanding.
That was the understanding. That's what the release told us. That once he's finished with the Black Stars, he's heading straight to Cairo to join the team.
But actually, the technical team gave him a window to take some rest before coming.
That's my point. Like,
he's talking about what he did with the rest period.
You see, I'm talking about the optics of it. You can be given time, and it's understandable because straight from the season he comes to the Black Stars. But understand that straight from the season, the guys who are in Cairo went straight there. They hardly got any rest period.
Yeah.
And for somebody who is as important as Ernest Nuamah, when does the competition start? It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we are seeing pictures of him yesterday in Sunyani. If he's supposed to be there today, when is he supposed to rest? All these things.
Maybe as we speak, he hasn't arrived yet.
You see,
and opening game is Sunday.
it's Sunday. You see,
we can say for certain that he's not in Morocco.
No, he's not arrived yet. He's
But
expected to be there today, but
basically,
even as at the time we were on air, we were told he's not arrived yet.
look, basically, my point is, yes, maybe you might have been given an excuse and all these things, but we also know the circumstances that surrounded his inclusion in this team. It took a lot of work to get his team to release him for this competition. So some of these things is the optics. You know that this and this and this. So don't just go. Just go, finish, and come on holiday. It's as simple as
because
that.
there were. I know for sure that Ernest Nuamah himself was critical in convincing North.
Yeah, he wants to play.
He wants to play. You know, and they were worried about, you know, and he's now, without a doubt, he's now their next gold.
Yep.
You know,
Gold mine.
No, yeah, crown jewel. You understand? So there can be absolutely nothing that can go wrong with him. So they need to look out for his body. They need to. So it's all of these things, and that's why perhaps some people are concerned that, you know, the free time that he got, he was using it to travel all around the country. But hopefully today he joins up with his teammates. He wouldn't have had any kind of training session with them. Maybe tomorrow some light session, because when you go there's jet lag, all those things. So you know, on Sunday I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't start again.
No, but I see the good thing about the reason why I'm not too troubled is that he's already been with this group and under this head coach during the qualifiers. So if there's, when it comes to the basic understanding of the metrics of the team, he gets it. So if he walks straight there, fine. I'm just saying, in terms of the optics, it doesn't really speak good of him. But this competition, there's hope. I have
the family is in Sunyani.
Yeah.
Some way, but
Some way, yeah. Some way.
No, he's a Kumasi boy, isn't he?
No, he's a Kumasi boy.
No,
He's a Kumasi boy.
I'm sure he went for the All-Star football thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
right.
So he
speaking
didn't
of
play,
the
he wasn't-
All-Star,
he
what a
wasn't-
great event. Congratulations, Ernest Nuamah, and all the team at the BAC group. They pulled off one of, like, a really, and that's what we say about football in BA. You know, like, it's crazy. It doesn't matter what it is.
Just do it well.
Massa, everybody will show up.
Hey,
And,
the numbers that were there,
yeah,
crazy.
he took the stars there. So
Crazy.
congrats to him and all the guys there. Let's switch up the conversation a little bit and talk transfers. Chelsea have now done shipping of players to Saudi Arabia for fun, and it's led to allegations here and there that Chelsea, you know, in fact, not allegations. Now, Jamie Carragher and his good friend Gary Neville have gone on record. The twins, they've gone on record to say the Premier League must stop the players from going to Saudi Arabia because they're saying, or they're suggesting that that activity could be impugning the integrity of the league. Sitsofe took it to another level and was replying them on Twitter and calling them hypocrites.
But let's be serious. What's that?
And what have you? You know, what many of you don't even understand is that it is not even possible to sell players for bloated fees without it being subjected to scrutiny. Because the Premier League actually has a law.
Boga, what's his bloated fee?
Thank you.
No,
So
but no,
the
yes.
no, in fact, I'm just saying that.
So allow him to make
I'm
the
saying
point.
That's the suggestion.
Yeah.
So I'm saying
No,
that.
that's not why they are saying that too.
You get,
let-
no, I
let-
get
let-
it.
fans want
I
to
know, I
land.
get what you're saying.
Let him land.
I get. But what I'm saying is that even by law,
Yeah.
it is not possible.
If him you
No. In the Premier League has a law. In fact, any transaction over
Valuation.
£1 million,
yeah.
right? It has to be subjected to value for money examination.
Absolutely.
Do you understand? So if something or not, that is actually worth 3
Senior
million. So
offense.
it's not possible.
Senior offense. If Maguire pass, we all will go pass. Let's move on.
There you go.
What is
So
bloated?
it's not possible for anybody to suggest that Chelsea are getting bigger fees for players that they ordinarily shouldn't be getting. The point is, if it was over bloated, the Premier League wouldn't allow. So long as you see, and you look at the prices that they are selling the players for, and you ask yourself,
Is it abnormal? No.
it's
No,
not. And you see, and also,
even when you say
Muftawu, let me
bloated,
finish.
I don't get it.
Yeah, and also the thing is that there is a certain value people place on players based on certain metrics. For example, the Premier League or Europe places a certain premium on younger players. The golf places the premium on older
players.
players.
They like it.
So that is how it works.
What is your own?
And the
So
point is-
let me ask you a question, Sito.
Yeah.
Do you think Saudi Arabia
Yeah.
will spend £100 million on Enzo Fernandez?
Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
But what Enzo will do for them?
No,
That's
they don't
the
need,
point.
They don't need Enzo Fernandez. They won't spend that much on him.
That's the question was, do you think they will?
No, they will not.
Thank you.
They
But
will
when
not.
Chelsea spent the money, nobody went at Chelsea saying that
Because
they were.
you think the valuation is perfect.
They think that. Thank you. But
Yes.
when is Saudi Arabia paying 60 million for, let's say, what's his name? Which Chelsea player they paying 60
Is
million?
this
They
for?
don't even pay 60 million. And that's the thing. That's the
That's
hypocrisy
the
of the
point.
matter.
So
You see,
what is the big
the
deal?
valuation of the players that Saudi Arabia are buying, the PIF is buying from Chelsea, it makes sense. They are paying 70 million for Khalidou Koulibaly, which Chelsea bought for 30-something million.
Yes.
They are paying
That was a bloated fee.
slightly over 20 million for Mendy. They are paying about
That is
40k
cheap.
or 35k for Hakim Ziyech. Charlie, it makes sense.
It's normal.
It makes sense. And in fact, the
So
thing
what is Gary Neville and Carragher's problem?
so
It's
what Gary Neville
hypocrisy.
and Gallagher are saying is, and for every football fan, you might yeah, I've looked into it. I don't think there's serious concern. But there is also the angle where, after I've explained, you understand why maybe they are slightly concerned. The point is, Chelsea is majority, the Chelsea's majority owners are the Clearlake Capital, right? Fronted by Egbali and Boli. We know that Boli also has hotel businesses with the PIF in Saudi and several parts of the world. Now, the Clearlake that owns 60% of Chelsea also have investments from the PIF, which owns Newcastle. But for the Clearlake Capital, you cannot be a shareholder in any of their firms or in any of the Clearlake deals that they do and own more than 5%, which means that irrespective of the investment that you have there, you cannot even have the majority decision to make.
Yeah. So there's a suggestion of conflict of interest, isn't it?
That's what part.
Which is not
PIF,
possible.
It is possible because PIF is investing in Clearlake, I think from 2020.
But the investment, you see, PIF's investment in Clearlake Capital is averaging less than 1%.
That's what I'm saying. So there's investment.
If you have less than 1% stake in an entity, would you be the one that will be shoved?
No, that's what I just said. That's what I said.
I know.
So they don't have the majority decision, right? Like the Glazers have for Man United. But let's flip this. If I have a company and Fentio, you're a business partner, I should say. Whether you pump in 60%, 70%, you are my partner. We've established a certain level of, trust, a certain level of partnership. So if I'm in distress, I can come to you for help. So that's what people are saying, that because they are business partners with the PIF, like Lake and PIF are business partners, it is easy. And Boli himself, his private business, PIF also the fund. So it is easy for Boli to travel to Saudi as he did, have a conversation with them that, listen, you want players, I have players, let me bring them to you, give me money. Because Chelsea also need to sell some of these players of their bloated squad, make money, it makes sense of financial fair play, right?
Yes.
Chelsea have not done anything illegal. I've looked into it, there's nothing illegal about it. Saudi Arabia want to buy players, Chelsea have the players.
Players to sell.
The money they are quoting, it makes absolutely every sense. They're even lucky that Lukaku doesn't want to go. Like, they will pay like 80 million for Lukaku.
I agree.
What would you say?
I agree.
No, the point is, if you're in Europe and you thought that Neymar was worth at the time 200 million, you have no right to tell us that Saudi Arabia can't pay any amount for any player they want. You are saying Declan Rice is worth 100 million. Declan Rice. Maguire was worth 80.
But
and he was worth 100 million euros. Like, bro,
and Nevo and Gallagher were okay with that.
Stop the hypocrisy. You cannot tell me that in the same league we watch, Newcastle, who were broke only 2 years ago, can pay 70 million euros for Tonali, and you have no problems with it. But when Saudi are coming to pay 70 million for Koulibaly,
you say that's problem.
20-something million for Mendy.
So why Chelsea matters they paying them like that?
No, you see,
not the Chelsea matters. It will be Saudi matters. Almost true.
See, it's hypocrisy. When they go to South America and pick their young talents and bring them to make their league what it is, because they have money. When they come to Africa and pick Mane and Salah, because they have money. And now, you see, but you know what they fear? The fear is not about the old guys.
It's not. It's the boys in their prime.
Being nervous.
Thank you.
It's about Thomas Partey. It's about Bernardo Silva,
Yeah.
who has now not picked this phone from some people from City because he's considering signing 150 million a year.
Thank you.
You say Partey's deal is $100 million.
Yes.
Bernardo Silva is considering signing 150 million pounds a year for a 3-year contract. He's so young. That is where the fear is. That if that happens, there's a possibility that the next thing we hear is
Salah is gone.
Erling Haaland. Elvis is Salah.
Erling Haaland. Kevin De Bruyne.
They're on their way after 2 years.
No, you
and
see,
they went to the Saudi.
And the truth is that the money in Saudi has always been there.
Yes.
You understand? But one man opened the door. He went there and he said that
This is the fifth best league in the world.
I have come. So come and join me. And now all the boys are following. When the guy went to Saudi Arabia, they were laughing at him.
Yeah.
Now all the people in their pump are also going there or considering going there. That's where the trouble is.
Thomas Partey is 30 years.
Yes.
Granted, Arsenal want to move him on. Do you know clubs like Juventus want to buy him, but they can't compete with the cash that Saudis are offering?
I know get money.
Partey will improve Man United's midfield.
Of course.
Partey will improve
Every
Chelsea's
team's midfield.
Oh yeah.
Partey goes back to. Partey will improve Barca's midfield with
Sitsofe.
simple.
Just clarify why Arsenal want him out.
No, so before he goes, the fear from Jamie and Gary is this. China did their thing. Russia did their thing. And all those people. What they know for a fact is that unlike Qatar and UAE, who were throwing money into players who were coming, Saudi, as I explained the last time, they know what they are doing.
Yes.
Now, even even more damaging for the Premier League, La Liga, and things, the top 5 leagues, is that Saudi Arabia, they have an established football culture.
Yes.
Yep.
Qatar don't have.
You understand?
Yeah.
Saudi they are what we like. We say, thank you.
So there's a realistic chance they could become a superpower.
Yes, they are a football country. You know, they have a football identity.
That is true.
Like Egypt, Tunisia.
They've been to many World Cups.
Exactly.
They're always there.
No, they are their way.
In fact,
No, not just
just
that.
recently they defeated Argentina, the World Cup champions.
Boss, not just that. Asian Champions League. Look at it. If we have a top 5 in Asia, Saudi is always number 2 or 3.
Yes.
So Saudi is not UAE and it's not Qatar. They are a serious threat to the global football order because they know what they are doing.
And
Which will bring you to
and
Qatar.
Saudi can open their own TV stations like Qatar did for.
Oh, Saudi!
The games. Oh, Saudi! So the Premier League started showing Premier League games in Africa for free.
Yes.
They can say Saudi League is coming to everywhere in the world for free.
Oh, Saudi
For 3
open.
years.
No, open TV station.
And it's not that they are not doing it. Last year,
Yeah.
what happened when Ronaldo went?
Start times.
Sometimes
Yes.
they have gone to all
That
the
their graduate went to
Chinese-
buy to go there.
Yes. Look, and you see, there's a method to their madness because Saudi, like I said, they know what they are doing. So this thing that the English are afraid of, it is that the people are not just throwing money.
Yes.
With a
And
plan.
they have a plan.
It's a plan.
And opening that TV station and things, it is not too difficult, especially for us in Africa, with the youngest population in the world. Now, guess what? The last Saudi Arabian league, the top flights, the top 20 scorers, 12 were from Africa. Listen to me, oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9.
Listen to me. Do you know what it means for League One, especially?
It's
After
starving
that-
them of talent.
Yeah.
They will rob them of. They will
Yeah.
rob them of talent
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Chicho,
yeah.
one last thing. Felix Romak has joined us. Felix, how are you? You alright?
Shall I'm doing great.
Yeah.
And the guys. Yeah.
Yeah, we talk Ghana football. I watch shortly. Kai Havertz to Arsenal.
Charlie, you know what make we talk about the Mate. Oh,
See,
Oh, what is there to talk about?
let me box. Let me box.
Make it go or make it no go.
let's
From
just say
Somalia to
Okay,
Saudi
Gary,
Arabia.
Gary, talk about Partey.
no,
What do you want to
me.
say?
Let's all say it in one sentence.
Yeah.
So you ask the question: should he go or should he not go? Let's
Should he
say it in
go
one.
or should he not go?
Look. Dear Thomas Partey, this is my letter I've written to Thomas Partey already. Dear
What is
Thomas
your PO
Partey,
box number?
Gary House Smith, PO Box 1, Accra Central. Dear Thomas Partey, plea to leave England to Saudi immediately.
Underline.
Underline, bold, font size 31.
New times Roman.
New Times Roman. Look, Thomas, there's so many there. The boreholes will need to be plenty.
Yeah.
The IMF government,
Now you're a
the
chief.
money, you know they catch.
Saudi money no go change.
The Saudi money go fit help we for here.
We won't build
It's
cathedral.
bottomless money.
Cathedral ni yebesi. Cathedral ni yebesi.
Individual donation.
Look, Thomas Partey, Charlie, me I be Arsenal fan. So this one, you know that it's not a jealousy or something. Look, Thomas, Charlie, I'm a Ghanaian before I'm an Arsenal fan.
If the figures are true,
if the
take it.
money be $100 million,
15 million sef a season.
$50 million a season, my brother, I beg you. Hey,
Partey.
hey, brother, me.
Oh, Partey.
I don't know how they say it in.
Oh, Partey.
In
Krobo.
Partey
Krobo.
after Partey.
Look, I beg you. The money, take him. I beg you.
See, unless it is Real Madrid, like a team that you are sure that in the next 2 years you can win Champions League, like play Toni
See,
Kroos kind of
no,
ball. Unless
no.
I'm coming.
Sicho,
No,
I
I'm
still
coming.
disagree with
No,
you.
I'm coming.
Jan would say,
No, I'm coming.
Jan would say,
No.
after my football career, it is my family and I at
hang
home.
on. You see, the
Go
man
and
that
take the
Partey-
money.
The man that Partey has earned from Arsenal, Ocean Wiya, he won't be hungry. Da.
Yeah.
True.
That is a fact. Like the money he's made from Arsenal. But I'm saying that unless it is Real Madrid or a team that you are sure that in the next 2 years he can win Champions League, so that when you retire, you look back and say, Charlie, you for go quick. You for go. The $100 million.
Bogali, quick one. The Atletico there, the money he was making, no plenty.
You know, plenty.
So, yeah.
Arsenal
He
being
has
first.
no ground.
Hey, Arsenal being first system. Charlie, the money is Saudi. The world is really dry. Boga, make it go take the money.
Thank you.
Okay.
Give me 10 seconds.
No,
Give me
no,
10
no,
seconds for
no, we
something.
don't have time.
Okay.
We don't have
Oh,
time.
no, I want to drop something. I
What
just want
do
to do
you want
something
to drop?
pretty quick.
What is that?
So, Kim Faisal's appeal, no, it has been dismissed. So officially they are relegated.
Okay,
That's all.
cool.
Thank you.
Sharp.
Okay, that was okay. Sichu,
Another breaking
hang
news.
on. I'll come back and ask you quick take on Kai Havertz to Arsenal.
Right.
But I think we are all doing our listeners a great disservice by by being unable to tell them why Arsenal are moving on Thomas Partey.
We are not doing them this service. We are protecting the brand.
That is true.
Thank you.
That is true.
Look, at the end of the day, we are Ghanaian first.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
If you don't protect your brother, nobody
But
will
the point is,
protect your
everybody
brother.
knows who. But we won't amplify it. That one there, they can call me and say, Sitso hide. Yes, I'm sitting on it. You won't amplify it.
Yeah,
If
that's
it is
it.
them, they
10 years ago, some of us didn't understand media and its power.
Yes,
right
yes.
now,
Go. English Premier League, just 2 seasons ago, they had light off 3 times at Stadia.
Yeah.
You never saw
Yeah.
any
Yeah,
newspaper.
Yeah. One thing,
No one.
the one thing that we can say for sure is that they should stop that smear campaign of
Yeah.
he's not good.
No,
he
they
was
should-
not
no,
for-
He's not good for EPO. He's good for $100 million.
We like
Aye,
Make a go
like.
take.
Aye,
Make a
Felix.
go take your money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Felix Romak is here. Felix is from the Ghana Football Awards board. He's a board member, and he's here this weekend. On Sunday, we are celebrating the creme de la creme of Ghana football. It will be a glorious event. That's happening on Sunday, live on Joy Prime on my ABC. And I have an announcement. I have been contacted.
Thank you.
To host the red carpet.
If it's less than $100 million,
Please.
No, after
Hey,
here,
ask for me.
after here, let's go
Hold
to
on, hold on.
let's
Ask
go
for
to
me.
Osu and eat.
Now, as for me, I'm a judgmental host. If I ask you, Daniel Koranteng,
What are you
what
wearing?
are you wearing? And you lie, I'll catch you.
Oh, who are you wearing? Who are you wearing? I am wearing a bevel.
Who are you wearing? Meanwhile, you and I, we ordered for the team from Gantz. And you want to come and lie? Felix, welcome to the show.
Charlie, thanks
let's
a
talk
lot.
about the awards. How long has it been running now?
Okay, so this is the 5th year of the awards. The last 4 years have been good, but we hope that the 5th one will be bigger and better than what we saw last year.
Oh, Felix, are you sad?
He's
I'm not sad, I'm not
He's
sad.
excited. He's too excited. He's too excited.
Okay,
Felix, let's talk about the nominations and what goes into it, and some of the categories that we should be on the lookout for
Okay,
this
so
time.
so we have a research team. They go and look at the performance of Ghanaian players all over the world, from Ghana to India to Indonesia to Europe and
To Saudi Arabia.
Saudi,
of course.
Thank you.
So they do the research and then they present it to the board, 13-member board chairman being Carl Tufo. We have myself on the board, Gary Al Smith, Sadiq Obama, Henry Asante Chumo, Gestin Ayinfo, referee Alex Cote,
The woman.
John Pento, yes, Matilda Dumedo of the FA, Cleopatra Nsian, a lawyer and the owner of Rich City. So this board members select
Nathan Kwao.
Nathan Kwao. So this board members select the various players into the different categories that you see around, and then we have a club 100. They vote to select, players into the winners of the players.
Who are they made up of?
They are made up of the 18 Premier League teams, the captains and the coaches. They vote, and then the national team coaches and captain, both male and female, they vote to select the winners. The PFAG also have a vote, and then some selected journalists across the
Proud
country.
to announce that one of
So
them.
you are a board member. In fact, everybody here is a board member. I don't know. I think everybody has voted, apart from Gary, who doesn't have a voting right. Sitso has voted, Muftawu as well, and yourself.
So what you want to say is that game plan has voted.
Yes.
Game plan has voted, yes.
How many categories are we awarding this year?
Okay, we are awarding 13 categories and other ones that are not open to the public voting. We've introduced 2 new categories. We've introduced the Goal Queen. The Ghana Women's League have gotten to a stage where
that's true.
it's having an exciting season. So we decided that we are going to reward the Goal Queen, and that goes to Princess Owusu, who scored 18 goals for fabulous ladies. And then we introduced the home base player of the year for women.
Okay.
Yes, and we have, I think, Comfort Yeboah, Mariam Ponsan, Stella Nyamiche, and then Princess Owusu in that category as well. So these are the 2 new categories. We have other categories that are being awarded. That one is from the board, and that would only be announced at
More like Excellence
award will be announced at the ceremony. And then the Club 100, they vote for the various categories, but there are only 2 categories that is open to the public. The goal of the year, and then the most vibrant club on social media. Those ones are open to the public.
I remember the year Olympics won. Let's talk about 2 more things before we wrap it up. The first one, I know the highlight of the event is always the football of the year, male and female. what are we looking at this? Who are we looking at this year?
Well, we have Mohamed Kudus, Ahmed Salis of Lens, and then Joseph Pentel of Genk. These 3 players have really had a tough list. Tough one. So it's up to you, the club 100, to decide who deserves to be there. But I think that I don't think anybody will have a problem with these 3 main players in this category. They've had a very wonderful season as well. Priscilla Idobia, Blessing Shine, who's had a very good season with Asfa in Morocco. They won the CAF Women's Champions League, the Moroccan League, and then the Moroccan FA Cup as well. And then we have
She's balling in there.
She's balling in there. You know, she got her revenge when Azakes lost to Sundance, and then when she went to Morocco, she had the opportunity to play against Sundance, and then they won it. But Fent, I want to say a big thanks to Safari Valley, Club Beer. They've really done so much for this award, and Multimedia Group as well. No, without them, we wouldn't get to this 5th year of the award. And Sunday, I'm sure that we have a better and a bigger ceremony than we did last year.
All right, so Sunday, red carpet starts 6 p.m. The event starts 7.
So you start the show.
Yeah, I introduce the show. So whether the people like my face or they don't, get used to it. I'm Koyi. I got the good and the go get nice hair because that's why I've grown my hair. So I'm going to get nice haircut. Hold on.
One thing where they shock me be say, Fentio now since he get hair, he want everyone knows he get hair.
Yeah, don't worry.
But that's not it. Since I got hair, I don't respect again. I don't respect again. Then I order suit from my man. Then Charlie, then we spot it. So 7 p.m. it starts. Are there some people performing that kind of thing?
Well, I don't know if I should, but it's going to be. It is going to be fire. Last year, if you were at the event,
and it's strictly by invitation.
Yes, it's strictly by
invitation.
invitation.
Are the invitations? Want to give?
We are doing e-invite. Electronic invite.
Want to invite game planners?
Okay, so maybe if you guys have a couple of guys who contributed to your show that you want them to, you can at least get 10 of them. We will send.
In fact, anybody who texted into the show today gets a ticket.
Yes, so we can have their names and then give them.
You guys say
their numbers are
you
here.
say anybody who you want to fight.
The first 10.
Say the first 10.
Okay,
Don't
the
say
first 10.
Yeah, the first 10. That long list of people who sent messages.
Okay, the first 10 messages. Anyway, so Felix, thank you so much. That's Felix Romark, board member for the Ghana Football Awards. That's an awards ceremony celebrating some of the footballers with the greatest contributions to Ghana football in the last 12 months. And of course, that's how we wrap up our show today. Sitsofe, I wanted you to say something about Kai Havertz, but we are running out of time. But Arsenal fans say they are getting a player in his prime. Chelsea are getting the hard deal here because it's like 24-year-old, 60 million. It's Sissimo.
No, I think he's a player who would fit in how Mikel Arteta plays.
Perfect.
When you watch how Arsenal plays, especially in the final third, the combination play that they've got.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Odegaard, Martinelli, Saka.
So it makes sense.
I think
it makes sense, Rough.
No, Kai Havertz is a quality footballer who has been at a club that has had no stability throughout the time he's been there. Let's face it.
Yeah.
You know, he came to the club under Frank Lampard left, Tuchel came, they won the champion.
Too many things.
Too many things.
Yeah.
And it's not only him. Every other player around that same period has not really been consistent. So you can't only pinpoint Kai.
True.
There was Timo Werner, there's Hakim Ziyech, there's everybody.
There's Mason
So now he's
Mount.
going into a club that I think is more settled. There's a manager who has a clear game plan. And when you watch the way Arsenal play, I think they will. And Arsenal are going to play in Champions League. They will need to. We all spoke about the fact
that Champions League winner. It makes sense.
The squad wasn't deep. Arsenal need more bodies. And that is one extra quality.
And they're
in there.
getting Champions League winner.
However, you
When
put
the
it.
moment Havertz walked into that team, he became the only Arsenal player to ever win the Champions League. Okay, and Jorginho. And both of them, who gave them?
You know, so Chelsea.
Thank you.
The other side of London. So I think it makes sense. And for Chelsea as well, it's good. It's
So
good business.
the way you are looking at Gary, what are you trying to say?
I'm not saying anything. You see, the way I wanted to talk about Declan Rice, but guys,
Next week.
we'll wrap it up today.
Yeah, if Rice goes to Man City, forget it too.
We should all forget.
You've not already forgotten.
What do you mean if? What do you mean
Actually,
if?
if the guy goes to,
What do you mean if?
bro, if the guy enters City,
But if Man City enters the chat, it's over.
no, but hold on, I want to see what
I want to understand. Is it that like you have hope?
It was
for
not
next
already
season?
over or what?
No, but Charlie, like that makes good.
Sicho, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Gary. Thank you. Daniel Koranteng, Muftawu, Nabila, Abdulai, the Filama. Thank you very much as well. Felix Romark joined us. So on Sunday, 7 p.m., Ghana Football Awards live on Joy Prime. Broadcast starts at 6 p.m. I'll see you then. Until then, my name is Fencho Tahiru Fencho. Enjoy your weekend.